Hello. So this video is just to show you how to do the reciprocal method for the service cost allocation. So this is an example we have in class, and it asks you to do both direct method, step down method, and a reciprocal method. I'm just going to go over this question with you together, and actually I'm going to do all three methods. Then the focus is the third method, which is reciprocal method. Okay. So to allocate the service cost, what do we need to do? First, you want to actually set up the question. So how to set up? You want to have a table. Easiest way, just copy paste like what I have here. And you want to remove the percentage. And here, I'm going to change this a little bit just for myself and to understand. So this should be allocating purchasing cost. Okay, so I know the first one I'm gonna allocating purchasing cost, and the next one is going to be allocating the power. Okay, allocating the power. Just copy paste. Right. All right. So first, I wanted to just do a very quick direct method as a review for you. Okay. Direct method. Just look at the name. You know, we only allocated the service cost to the production department, but we don't allocate the cost between service department. So here, purchasing and power are servicing department, D1 and D2, they are production department. Okay. So how to allocate? First, what you want to do is we're going to allocate the purchasing. Therefore, you want to for the negative sign here, make sure you allocate the entire thing out of the purchasing. So what you're doing, you put a negative sign of 10,000, which means you're going to allocate entire 10,000. Okay. What do you do next is you're going to take this number. Okay. And make sure you put the negative sign before that. And then you multiply it by the percentage. So here, percentage, if you look at the percentage of purchasing, there's 20%, 50%, 30%. But when we're using direct method, we only allocate between D1 and D2. So what you want to do is you want to multiply it by 50%, but divided by 50% plus 30%. Okay. So this way, you only allocate between D1 and D2 department. And that gives you, well, we don't want to have a percentage format. So just want to make sure you change the format into dollar. Okay. Same thing here. You want to allocate this again. Make sure first start with a negative sign. You want to allocate this number, but multiplied by 30% and divided by 50 plus 30%. Okay. Next one, we're going to do the same thing for power, and therefore we negative 4,000 here means we allocate the entire 4,000. And the next one, same thing, you put a negative sign of this 4,000 and you multiply by 40%, but divided by 40 plus 10%. Okay, so you create a new fraction percentage for allocation. Again, your negative 4,000 here, multiplied by 10%, divided by 40 plus 10%. Okay. What do you want to do after that? You want to actually just do a sum, make sure all the service department has a zero balance as a safe check. Okay. You can just copy this formula, drag, and also you want to do is you want to just sum these two, make sure this is equal to the total service department. So you know you allocated everything. You can see here, everything looks good. That's for the direct method. So next one you wanted to do for the step down method. We can just copy paste here just to save time, make some changes. We change it here into step down. And this time I'm just gonna allocate purchase to the power department. Okay, I mean here you can allocate the power to purchase if you want, really depending on what the practice within each firm. But just for this example, we're gonna allocate the purchase to power. Okay. Right now, what you want to do is you want to clean up the numbers here. Okay. Same thing here. We just wanted to do allocation again. All right. So first, we're gonna allocate the purchasing to the power, and we take entire $10,000 here. Means we're gonna allocate everything, and now for this allocation, you can just use the percentage they give you, 20%, 50%, or 30%, because purchasing is going to be allocated among these three departments. So what do? You take this number, multiplied by 20%. Same thing here, you want to make sure the format like dollar format. Okay. Same thing here, elective 10,000 multiplied by 50%. Next one is elective 10,000 multiplied by 30%. Okay. Next one is gonna allocate the power. So here, when you allocate the power, very important. Okay, you want to make sure you're gonna allocate whatever entire cost you have, which including the cost allocated from purchasing. So here you have to allocate the entire $6,000 out. Okay, what do? When you allocate this, you take this number, okay, and remember put the elective sign before that and divide it by the percentage. But again, you only allocate between D1 and D2, so make sure percentage is 40%. But divided by 40 plus 10%. Okay. Same thing here. You want to do 6,000 multiplied by 10%, but divided by 40 plus 10%. Okay. You wanted to just drag this. Again, as a check, you wanted to add this two together to see does it equal to 14,000 or not, and the answer is yes. Okay, so that is for the step down method. The next method is called a reciprocal method. Okay, so again, copy and paste. You wanted to remove this. And here, change the title on exactly what you're doing. That would be reciprocal. Okay. So what is a reciprocal method? Just by intuition, basically means you can allocate between the service department and the production department. Okay, so here we're gonna first start with purchasing. You're gonna allocate this, okay, but you're gonna allocate among three departments. So you just use this number like what we did in the past. Remember, put elective sign here, but multiply by the 20%. Multiplied by 50%. And this one, same thing here. You want to take this number and multiply it by 30%. All right, next one is you're going to allocate the power. Same thing here. First, you're going to take the sum of all the costs that you have and make sure put the elective sign here, basically saying you're going to take entire cost out. And then you allocate this based on the percentage. So here, elective 6,000, but multiplied by 50%. Okay, so the reason is you wanted to make sure you allocate all among 3 departments. So you use the percentage of 50%, 40%, 10%. Okay. So here, same thing. You take 6,000 but multiply by 40%. And here, you take 6,000 and multiply by 10%. Okay. All right. So after that, what you need to do is very important. Okay, this is where you have to pay attention. Is I wanted to look at this, allocating the purchasing cost. So you can see here you only allocated 10,000, but the purchasing cost itself included the 10,000 and the 3,000 here allocated from the power. So you want to change this formula a little bit. So here is equal to 10,000 and also 3,000. Okay, so it's a 10,000 and 3,000, but remember you should have a elective sign before that. And you just say okay, and then that will give you a reciprocal method. What's the cost going to be? Sometimes when you run this, it may give you an error message said there's something wrong about the calculation because the calculation is circulating itself. Okay, so I'm using a Mac computer. For me to fix that problem is I just go to this Excel and click on preference, and I click on calculation. And you can see you want to make sure this use iterative circulation is clicked. Okay, you want to make sure this is checked. I'm not quite sure what this function is if you use Mac or Windows computer, but regardless, this is a calculation option you have to tick for the Excel to do this calculation. Okay. Anyway, if you are using Windows computer, just do a Google to see where that button is. But just really make sure this is one of the calculation options you have to choose. Okay. All right. So that's all I need to talk about it. And of course, you wanted to just sum this up like what we did and make sure they're equal to 0. And also the allocated cost here is equal to 14,000. And then you will be confident and you are doing it correctly. So all these 3 methods, they may be tested for the CMA exam. But most likely it's going to be for the direct and the step down method. Okay, reciprocal method, because the way you have to use Excel to do this calculation, and it may not be tested during the exam, but it's good to know. Okay, so that's all. And if you have any question, please contact me. Okay, bye-bye.